Hey guys, and welcome to my blast furnace superheating guide. So blast furnace superheating is a way that you can get faster smithing XP per hour than you normally would with superheating gold ores. So it's a really great way to get your smithing level up until you get to addy plates. You can get around 140k smithing XP per hour, 135 to 140 if the blast furnace is busy, and about a minimum of 125 to 130 if the blast furnace is kind of slow, which happens at certain times of night. But for the most part, you're going to be getting about 135k XP per hour, which is really good. It's about a 35% increase over standard superheating, and you will be getting slightly less magic XP, only about 50 to 55k magic XP per hour. But I would still say this is definitely worth doing because magic is very easy to train through other means, and smithing isn't as much so. So before you can actually start blast furnace superheating, you need to complete 2 quests. The first one being the giant dwarf, and that is just to get access to Keldegrim, which is where the blast furnace is located. And the second one is the family crest quest, and that is so that you can unlock the usage of the goldsmith gauntlets. And these are a necessity to be doing superheating, because, or at least if you're doing gold ores, because without them you get about half XP for smelting gold ores, which makes them completely not worth it at all. So you definitely need goldsmith gauntlets, absolute necessity. As far as items, the only things you really need are a staff that has fire runes in it, so that's smoke, lava, steam, or just regular fire. And of course the goldsmith gauntlets. And weight reduction gear is very useful. The better weight reduction gear you have, the better, because you will be running a bit and you will have to use energy potions or strange fruits or something along that line. Something that will restore your energy, you will need some of that as well. So as far as getting to the blast furnace, by far the easiest way to do that is just to go to the minigame teleport. As long as you've done the giant dwarf quest, you should be able to use this as far as I know. So you just click teleport. You can use this once every 20 minutes, I believe. It'll bring you right outside the blast furnace. And I'll show you guys upstairs. You'll come across this building that has the furnace icon on it. You just want to run through these doors in here, come down the stairs, and you're going to be at the blast furnace. If for some reason you're on cooldown or something like that, you can't use that. You can also use a ring of wealth charged. That'll bring you to Keldegrim, and you can run over. And if for some reason you don't feel like using either of these, you can take the fairy ring code to DKS right here, and then just run down to this little entrance right here, and it'll bring you right into Keldegrim, and you just have to run a bit further. But obviously the easiest way to get there is, of course, to use the minigame teleport. Definitely the best way to go. So before getting into the finer points, I'm just going to give you guys a basic rundown of how the blast furnace actually works, because it is kind of confusing at first. I had no idea what was going on for the first hour or two that I was here. So starting off, this right here is the conveyor belt, and this is where you're going to drop your ores. And you put your ores on here. Any type of bar that you're making, in the video we are going to be doing gold ore, just because that's when it's really most efficient as far as smithing experience. So you throw your ores onto the conveyor belt, and then there are a few different aspects to the machine. So there are the pedals right here, and the pedals will run the conveyor belt. There's the coke and stove right here, and you need to fuel the stove to keep the furnace hot. There's a pump right here, and somebody needs to be pumping to keep the, I think it's like the bellows or something like that, I don't exactly know, but it's just another part. And then there's the temperature gauge, where you can see whether the furnace is too hot, too cold, or at the right temperature. And then over here we have the final bar dispenser, and this is where you can receive your finished bars from the furnace. And you do need to use a bucket of water. Now the best way to go with buckets of water is just to have some ready in your bank already. I personally got about 500 buckets of water. Beforehand I just bought them in Port Phasmatis and then filled them up here, since it's a good place to fill them up, but probably faster to do that than to have to pick one up over there every time. But you do need to use a bucket of water on the bar dispenser, because they will be hot at first. Now sometimes other people's buckets will affect you, and it will cool off your bars for you, as you saw right there, and then you don't need it. But sometimes it does happen that you'll need to use a bucket of water on the bar dispenser, so it's definitely good to have them readily available. And as you can see, you come with this interface, and you can smith any of these bars using the blast furnace, and you can withdraw one at a time by clicking on the gold right here, or you can withdraw all by just clicking the all button. It is a little bit finicky and kind of annoying. You can tell it's a fairly old interface, but the all button is kind of a small click zone, which gets kind of frustrating, but you just get used to it, and it's not too bad. So that's the basics of how it works. And what you're actually going to be doing for blast furnace superheating is you're going to want to make sure that this is filled up at all times. So the first thing you always want to do is just fill up the ore in the conveyor belt, and you'll notice that the ore doesn't always go through immediately, and that's when you want to be superheating. So when you have ore in the furnace, you just want to go back to the bank and grab some gold ore, and you just want to be superheating in the meantime. And the way that you can tell when your ore is done is you'll see that it comes, the orange bars come through on the bar dispenser, and you'll also get an XP drop of the full inventory of gold ore if you're using Orion or OS Buddy or whatever you want to call it. But another thing that's very important is that you want to be standing right near the machine. As you can see, I just got the ores finished. You got the orange and the big XP drop. And as soon as that happens, you want to just head over to the bank. It doesn't matter whether your superheating is done, but you always want to prioritize the machine over your superheating, because it is obviously capable of doing a lot faster smithing than you are with superheating. So when that happens, what you want to do is actually first restock the furnace and then go over and use your water on the bar dispenser, and that's just because it saves you some running, so you don't have to go grab your bars first and then bank and then come back. But it is important to note that you never want to let the machine get up to 28 bars, because if you have 28 bars in the dispenser, then it won't let you put any more ore until you've collected the bars, and you normally won't ever let that happen, because you obviously have 27 inventory spaces because of your nature runes. But you just want to make sure to keep that in mind. And as you can see right there, that inventory I only managed to get, like two superheats before the machine finished, so sometimes it is quite fast. Sometimes you're going to end up going through multiple inventories before it finishes. It depends on other people's activity, really. But that's the basic method of how you get it done, and the only other thing you really need to worry about is your energy. Sometimes you will run out of energy just because the machine goes quickly, and you end up with your run drained. Even if you're wearing full weight reduction gear and you have 99 agility like I do, I still run out of energy all the time. You will need energy restoration no matter what. And I would say that strange fruits are actually the best thing to use here, oddly enough, because they're one click and then they disappear from your inventory, which means you don't have to drop the vial afterwards and stuff, which is actually really convenient for this. And they are 30% restoration for one click. So overall, I would say that strange fruits are actually the most convenient, and I actually used up all my strange fruits, and I really couldn't be bothered to buy any more, so that's why I'm using super energies now. But if you have any strange fruits, definitely a good place to use them. I can't really think of any other places that are actually useful, but I would say strange fruits are awesome here. But general restoration, you just need some form of run restoration, so either super energy or strange fruit. I actually wouldn't recommend stamina potions just because you're not running constantly, so the extra effective stamina potions really isn't going to be utilized that much. But yeah, that's the general method. I don't know if I mentioned before, but you do need to be standing next to the machine. That's why I'm running over here, not just standing at the bank. Otherwise, stuff won't go through. It's just the way it works. It's kind of an old, odd little thing, but it ends up getting you some great XP. But yeah, if you're standing at the bank, your bars won't always go through the machine. If you're standing right near it, then they will. So I'd say the main criticism that people have of this method is that you are kind of leeching. And what leeching means is that you're not contributing to the machine really at all. And the way the machine works is that you need to have like one person doing each job basically, and then all the other people don't really need to contribute, but whenever something isn't getting done, somebody needs to do it, or else the machine won't completely function. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that some of the pipes will burst. You'll notice that you'll see the, oh my god, this is another thing that's really annoying, is that you are constantly misclicking on other people when you're trying to use a bucket on the bar dispenser. Really wish they would like make it so you could have that not be not be able to use items on people if you set a certain toggle or something, because it drives me crazy. But anyways, what I was saying before is that these pipes can burst, and you need to use a hammer to repair them. And you can actually do this pretty efficiently, so you can sort of contribute while superheating. So if you have a hammer in your inventory, definitely it's a good thing to do to repair the pipes when you see them burst. It'll make the machine go a little bit faster, and it'll help out everyone else here as well. But it's really just not efficient for you to be doing things like running the pedals and doing the pump and doing the coke and everything. It's just, I mean, there's going to be people doing it, and you really don't need to worry about it. And a lot of people get mad when people leech, but in reality, probably about 99% of people at the blast furnace are leeching, because you don't need more than about 5 to 10 people to run the actual blast furnace efficiently, and then everyone else, it's not like you're hindering the blast furnace by taking part in it. You're just another person using it, because volume doesn't make the machine degrade faster or anything like that. It's just, you just need people doing those jobs, and they pretty much always are. So hardly ever will you see that people are getting mad because jobs aren't getting done, and if they really aren't getting done, then you can go ahead and do them, but for the most part you really don't need that. So that's pretty much all you need to know to blast furnace superheat efficiently, but there are a couple things that are little useful things that I usually plug in my guides, one being screen markers, one being mouse keys or auto hotkeys. So you guys probably noticed a couple of things in this video so far, one being that I've had some unnatural looking mouse movements when I've been going to superheat, because I can go like that. And this is a 1-to-1 AHK script that I'm using right now. You can do the same exact thing with mouse keys. I'm not going to show you guys exactly how to do it in this video because I don't want it to go on for too long, but it's definitely worth it to spend the time to figure out how to set up your mouse keys or auto hotkeys to be able to do this. It's quite simple. I'm sure you can find guides on it and stuff, and I would be happy to post the script that I'm using for AHK in the description. Just be aware that Jagex's stance on AHK is somewhat finicky. As long as you're using it 1-to-1, most likely you will not be getting in trouble for it, but you can do the same thing with mouse keys. You just have to set your drop down to go down this far, and you should be able to do it. Just make sure you're always using 1-to-1, otherwise you actually will be at a pretty good risk of getting banned. And the other thing that is really useful is Screen Marker, and Screen Marker is this program right here. You can draw on your screen, and it just makes it really useful for certain things. Blast Furnace I found it especially useful for, and you probably noticed that I had some weird black boxes. First one I always do is just for my gold ore, so I can have my mouse ready to withdraw the gold ore as soon as I get to the bank. The second one is I have a little line that I usually draw right underneath the yes option for adding ore to the furnace. So that way you have your mouse ready to go right here, and if you just go on the little line right here, you can just draw a line right here, and that's what I always do. And then you'll be ready to go for adding ore to the furnace as soon as you see that. And then the last one is on the bar dispenser. When you have the bar dispenser open, it's really useful to have a little rectangle around the all option right here, so then you can have your mouse right there, because the all is very annoying to click and makes it just a little bit more convenient. And you can download or install Screen Marker from their website. I'll have that linked in the description. I think it's just screenmarker.com. Completely legit program. It's very lightweight and simple, and I've had it for years, no problems at all. Really useful. I think Epic Pen is another program that does the same thing. I haven't tried it out, but I've always been happy with Screen Marker, so I've never really found it necessary, but it may have some cool features on it as well. But yeah, both of those things are really useful for Blast Furnace Superheating, and that's why I have these weird little marks on my screen, but it really does help you relax a little bit, speed up your efficiency, and not have to focus as hard on getting your mouse in the exact right place because you already have it set out for you. So guys, I think I'm going to end it off here. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you guys have figured out everything you need to know to be able to use this method and get some really great smithing experience. And another really good thing about this is that you use less nature runes, which means less cost for superheating. So overall, it's faster smithing XP and less cost. So really great in both ways. So hopefully this has helped you guys out. Make sure to leave a like if it did, and leave any questions or comments you have in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to respond to those. So I think that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to link you guys to my Windows mouse keys setup guide. If you want to get your mouse keys set up, it won't show you exactly how to do the right drop down, but you should just be able to figure it out and then just adjust the sliders. Getting mouse keys actually set up is the hard part, and then changing the drop down speed and stuff like that and how far it goes down is the very easy part. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with more videos. Later, guys.